Right now, Supper Club reopens tonight. Hear how the community helped bring it back after it had its roof destroyed in a tornado. Also see how the Madison Police Department is helping local families stuff stockings and get gifts under the tree this holiday season. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Tonight, the Village Bar Supper Club is having its first supper since it was hit by an EF1 tornado in July. Our Meryl Hubbard went out to Keeler, Wisconsin to show us the reopening.
If you take a look at the Village Bar now, it doesn't look like a tornado has ever crossed its path. But in reality, it took a village to put this roof back together, and now Village Bar is back in business.
It's my mom and sister's favorite place to eat.
Rio Ibarra is celebrating his sister's birthday at the Village Pub after a 5-month-long wait.
It's just an honor to come to like old places to eat and stuff.
The past 5 months make you realize how much you miss working at a place that you love.
In July, the Village Bar was hit by an EF1 tornado. No one was hurt when it hit, but it destroyed the roof of the 100-year-old building.
I actually started crying when the tornado came through because this place has been in my life forever.
Braden Thumpser is the owner's grandson, and he says it's taken around $500,000 to fix up the place.
It took a lot of time and persistence to get everything to come together, but I think it was worth the wait because the place looks a lot better than it did even before.
Between fixing the roof, windows, and clearing all the debris, getting the village back was no easy task. But with a village of people, it was possible. How were you guys able to pull it off and put everything back together?
The community, really. At first, didn't think we were going to open, but then the community kind of convinced us to open up just because of how much people love this place.
After 5 months of hard work, the village is open and already seeing the regulars.
So it's nice to finally see them again.
When you're there, it feels like it just feels like you're at home.
Owners tell me they plan to have the first breakfast this upcoming Sunday. Reporting in Keeler, Wisconsin, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. Owners also say that Village Bar will be open every day this week to welcome people during the holidays. Congrats, Village Bar. All right, let's head outside for a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller, who joins us out on the weather patio. Blaze, how does it feel out there?
You know, it feels not too bad. It is definitely foggy out here, so don't let the fact that you can see, you know, the decorations behind me. We still do have dense fog across southern Wisconsin. It's been a foggy day. We've got that dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. on Monday's visibilities continue to remain very low across central and southern Wisconsin. So anybody there in the gray, essentially all of our coverage area except Walworth County, you're underneath that dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. on Monday. Current visibility is about 3/4 of a mile in Dane County, up to about 1.5 miles in Janesville. No visibility in Mineral Point, and we're about 1 mile visibility in Platteville. So you can see where that dense fog is, but it's going to continue to fill in across southern Wisconsin as we go through the rest of our overnight hours. Starting out at 6:30 in the morning on your Monday, very low visibilities across southern Wisconsin, but by the late morning, if not the early afternoon, that fog has pretty much cleared on out of here. What's causing this fog? Well, southerly winds moved up a warmer, more moist air mass, and all that moisture started to cool on down, and when it cooled down to a certain point, it reached its saturation point in the atmosphere, and thus caused these low-level clouds and fog to stick around, even though we don't have any snow on the ground. That warmer air just was met with this cooler air that had been overhead, but that's going to cycle out as we go into your Monday. Drier air is set to move on in. We'll talk about that in the full forecast. It's going to be a mild night considering we should be right around 18 degrees. We'll be in those mid to upper 30s, if not the low 40s. We're going to track out 2 chances for snow in your upcoming work week in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, we'll see you then. Packers fans had to wait all day to see their favorite team play, but it was well worth it. Andrew has the highlights from a sensational night in Seattle.
Yeah, Jalen, they certainly did make it worth the wait and took the Seattle crowd out of the game almost immediately. Green Bay scored on the first drive of the game and then on the second drive of the game, looking to make a full-on statement in Seattle. Love rifles a strike to Romeo Doubs. That was one of his 2 tutties on the day in his return from injury, and the Packers go on to win it 30-13. Green Bay improves to 10-4 on the season with the win, leaving them almost as a lock for the playoffs. We'll have full highlights from this one coming up later in sports.
Definitely looking forward to that one. Thank you, Andrew. Members of Madison's law enforcement spent their morning helping parents Christmas shop. It's part of a collaboration with the organization 100 Black Men of the U.S. Tanisha Shaw is reporting on how this event is expected to have a lasting impact.
And what better way to start building a community during the holidays?
Christmas is less than 2 weeks away. Now, 10 families from the Meadowland and Harmony Apartments have $300 worth of gifts to put under their tree.
It feels great to me. This is a warm feeling in my heart because we see the smiling families.
Helping parents secure their Christmas shopping cart is a perfect way to make sure their kids have a great Christmas. Officers say this is just one of the ways they want to better their relationship with the community.
We see the kids later on as they have contact with their teachers and others in the community, and they remember stories like this. When their parents come home and they talk about gifts that they bought with police to give to them on Christmas Day, I mean, those type of stories are priceless.
This is the Madison chapter of 100 Black Men of America's 4th time hosting this event, giving parents one-on-one time to connect with the Madison Police Department.
I look at this as an event in perpetuity, and that means that we're going to continue doing these types of things, but the dividends that it's going to pay off later on are going to last us through generations, hopefully.
Organizers chose to help families on Madison's west side because of crime in the area.
A lot of times when you look at the calls for service or you look at those who are in need, we like to identify those pockets of within our community so that we can have that impact there. Because ultimately, they're the ones that are leaning on others for assistance. There are people who have already, and so we want to deal with those that have not.
Both MPD and 100 Black Men say they will continue to be pillars in the community throughout the year.
We want to make a difference where a difference needs to be made, and we're focused on that right now.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Organizers also said the partnership wouldn't be possible without Walmart. And so to come on News 3 Now at 10, Donald Trump's team gives us some possible insight into how the president-elect will handle certain foreign policy issues. And we talked to SSM Health's Dr. Rupa Shaw about walking pneumonia and the best time to see a doctor.
Iron Jock products are wicking, cooling, anti-static, and built with 4-way stretch. Their silver ion technology eliminates 99.9% of the bacteria. If you don't love it, send it back. No questions asked. Iron Jock.
If you've been naughty, Santa won't bring you any presents.
Papa, turn back.
Boy, you better watch out. You better not cry.
I'm sorry.
You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
I'm sorry.
Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list
But Mateo.
twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
I was an occupational therapist and I had lost my position. I was able to just go the next day, oh well, I can dash. I love it for the freedom. I can schedule myself. Also, dashing just gives you a sense of purpose. Having portable benefits would be really awesome for me because I could use them to help cover my vision, copays, and adding to my 401k. And I could continue to build that till I retire.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? How about
Hi, Grandma.
how about
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, sis. Guess who's home?
You made it.
seasons of love?
Smile, everyone. Measure your life in love.
Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
Measure your life in love.
Experience the Channel 3000 News app today. Tailored for your news the way you want it. With a customizable home page and faster page loads. Download the Channel 3000 News app. Powered by News 3 Now.
The digital world is evolving, and our kids are all in.
But it is kind of the Wild West.
So parents, we need to stay on our toes. I'm getting expert tips to help your family stay safe on screens. Catch our Time for Kids digital playbook Monday at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. The Trump transition team announced the appointment of longtime loyalist Richard Grenell as envoy for special missions. The president-elect's team has also given some insight into how Trump will handle some of the more pressing foreign policy issues for his new administration. Trump's national security advisor nominee says Hungary's authoritarian prime minister Viktor Orban could play a key role in ending Russia's war in Ukraine after Trump takes office.
Orban has a regular engagement with the Russians, and he clearly has a good relationship with President Trump. And I would hope the entire world would want to see some type of cessation to the slaughter that is happening in eastern Ukraine.
On his social media site, Trump urged readers to buy his recently published book, Save America, which is advertised as offering, quote, unparalleled look into his 4 years as the 45th president of the United States and a vision for his next term. Tonight, the Department of Homeland Security is sending more resources, personnel, and technology to New Jersey, where drone sightings have surged in recent weeks. Chanel Call has the details.
Good evening. There is concern and confusion over the growing number of reported nighttime drone sightings. Today, incoming White House National Security Advisor, Florida Congressman Mike Waltz told CBS's Face the Nation, Americans need answers.
We need to know who's behind it. They could be coming from offshore, and we need to take a hard look at our homeland defenses.
Today, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas insists officials are on it, but he says there is no known foreign involvement in the drone sightings.
Let me set the record straight here, George. There are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States. Recreational drones, commercial drones. That is the reality.
In a statement today, New York Governor Kathy Hochul said our federal partners are deploying a state-of-the-art drone detection system to New York State and is also asking Congress to pass a bill that she says would strengthen the FAA's oversight of drones and give more authority to state and local law enforcement agencies to investigate the activity.
Some have called the multiple sightings hysteria. Officials say that of the 5,000 drone tips received, fewer than 100 required a follow-up. And much of the world is glued to the online world, and that includes children and teenagers. In Washington, members of both parties are pushing to pass a bill that aims to protect youth from potential threats. And as Mary Rhodes' teenage son, Riley, took his own life in 2021 after falling victim to an online blackmail scam, she's calling on lawmakers to advance the Kids Online Safety Act.
Passing KOSA, members of Congress can leave an enduring legacy of protection and accountability. That is what they are there for.
Now, the Kids Online Safety Act mandates platforms to have safeguards in place for minors, including restricting access to their personal data and parental tools. Now let's get a look at your first one forecast. Blaze Keller joins us now. Blaze.
And we're going to be dealing with that dense fog overnight into the late morning hours on your Monday. Again, we have a dense fog advisory for every county we cover except for Walworth County. But still, if you live in Walworth County, make sure that you're taking it slow on the roads tomorrow, just because there could be some patchy fog within the county. We're going to become more breezy on Monday. That drier air is actually going to move out this fog, usher in some cooler air. And that's going to bring back our snow chances starting not only Tuesday, but lasting through maybe Friday as well. We've got two clipper systems that we're going to be tracking after this one moves out later tonight through your Monday. As this first one moves on out of here, we may be dealing with some shower activity as we go into the afternoon hours. But drier air starts to move on in. And as I mentioned, that'll cool us down, and that helps move in our next clipper system, this little bit of energy that's kind of riding the edge of a high pressure system. So really, this is just a blip of energy in the atmosphere, but it's just enough to bring us some snow as we go later into your afternoon hours on Tuesday, overnight into Wednesday. So how much are we talking in terms of totals from that little bit of energy Tuesday into Wednesday? Likely staying less than an inch for most of us. This is going to be that dry, fluffy snow. But closer to Viroqua, maybe into the La Crosse area, we get upwards of 1 inch to 2 inches of snow. Then we turn our attention to a more organized, stronger clipper system Thursday into Friday. One model, our European model, wants to keep that system a little bit further to our north, whereas the GFS, it nearly follows this yellow path directly, and that yellow path is really ideal for that measurable snow here across southern Wisconsin. So here's the Euro's interpretation of that clipper system Thursday into Friday. You can see a lot more of that snow is falling north of La Crosse as we go overnight into Friday. And if we look at possible totals, you see once you get to La Crosse northwards into northern Wisconsin, that's where they're picking up maybe 2 to 4 inches of that snowfall. So if you want that measurable snow, you want the GFS's interpretation, where it's a little bit further south and kind of hugs the state line there as we go Thursday night into Friday. And this is ideal because as those winds turn counterclockwise around that low pressure system, it taps into that open lake, that Lake Michigan right there, and takes that moisture and kind of dumps it back over parts of southern Wisconsin. And we see that here with the GFS future snow. More of that accumulating snow is further south. Don't fixate on the numbers necessarily, but just see that if that system takes more of that GFS path, that more ideal path, we see more of that accumulating snow chance here as we go into the second half of next week for southern Wisconsin. Tomorrow, though, we're back into the upper 30s to low 40s, mostly cloudy, that morning fog making way for breezy conditions and maybe an isolated shower by tomorrow afternoon. There is a look at your 10-day forecast taking us through Christmas. So if we do get that snow later next week, we may be able to keep it around as we go into the Christmas Eve, Christmas time frame. Fingers crossed for people who want that white Christmas, but long-range models do have our temperatures climbing above freezing and bringing a wintry mix Monday and then Christmas Eve, drying out though for Christmas as of now.
Just for the aesthetic, as we've already talked about, really hoping for a white Christmas, but I wouldn't mind being able to just wear a hoodie and not a coat come Christmas Day.
Well, current forecast, you'd be able to.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Now to some health news. Our Kyrian Lee sat down with Dr. Rupert Shaw of SSM Health to talk about a mild form of pneumonia called walking pneumonia and symptoms to watch out for this season.
Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So first, who can get walking pneumonia and how does it spread?
Yeah, so anyone really can get walking pneumonia, but we do tend to see this in school-age children, adolescents, and younger folks more often. But it is spread by respiratory droplets, so very common this season. Spread just like the common cold. Somebody coughs or sneezes, somebody else inhales those droplets, and then they can get ill from that.
Okay, so very easy.
Very easy, unfortunately.
So when should you see a doctor?
Yeah, so walking pneumonia basically is very similar to an upper respiratory infection. You can have some fevers, chills, cough, congestion, fatigue, but the hallmark really is that that cough is going to linger. So for weeks to months later, people are still coughing. You're still feeling unwell, fatigued, maybe even having some low-grade fevers. That's the time when you should seek medical attention because clearly it's not clearing up and there could be turning into a walking pneumonia.
And if you don't get it cleared up soon enough, what are some of the risks of not, going to see a physician?
Yeah, so if you don't see somebody, it's going to probably just continue to linger. Your symptoms, you're going to start feeling worse. You can develop shortness of breath, wheezing, other signs of distress. This is more commonly seen in younger children. So there will be some signs and symptoms that will alert you, especially as a parent, to know this is when I need to take my child in. Again, if you're seeing them wheezing, struggling to breathe, or just working harder to get their air, then it's really time to get into the doctor and consider getting a chest x-ray or other laboratory testing.
And I know we've talked about this in our past segments, but what are just a few things that people can do to keep themselves, well this season?
Yeah, so this will, again, it's always tough in the winter because we're always in close quarters with people. But again, good hand washing, right? That's always key. Masking if you're feeling ill, keeping the children home if they're sick, and getting your vaccines, right? Getting those immunizations for flu and COVID, RSV, all those other vaccinations that keep us safe during the winter time to avoid all these different viruses that are out there.
Very good. Well, Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coming up in sports, Andrew is back with the full highlights from the Packers' primetime game in Seattle. Next on News 3 Now.
Into the end zone. Opening drive, touchdown.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Bad odors, ghastly noises, and clogs at the worst possible time. These are just a few of the holiday horrors lurking within your garbage disposal. But you don't have to let an old system squash your holiday spirit. Give yourself the gift of the grind and save $50 when you upgrade with Cardinal. Put your old appliance on a permanent naughty list and get a highly efficient, ultra-quiet garbage disposal that can clean up even the most chaotic of holiday dinners. Don't let a clogged sink spoil your holiday spirit. Book online at cardinalservice.com.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Winning at Ho-Chunk Gaming just got bigger, like mega bigger. When you win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, you're automatically entered into our mega jackpot winners quarterly drawings with a grand prize drawing on January 18th to win a new Jeep Wagoneer Carbide and a chance for $100,000 in cash. Jackpot weekly drawings are going on now. Mondays, 10 winners, $500 in rewards play. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on an efficient CR-V hybrid, spirited Accord hybrid, sporty Civic hybrid, and the all-electric Prologue. Don't wait, turn your dreams into reality with a new Honda, named KBB.com's best overall EV and hybrid brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
We all share the same roads, but when accidents happen, we don't always share the same consequences. Big trucks can cause big damage. Injuries can be severe and may require a lifetime of care and compensation. Call Gruber Law Offices today. We've been fighting and winning for people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Let us do the same for you. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When you look back at the history of the Seahawks and the Packers, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Home field advantage is everything. The home team has won the last 10 meetings between these two, but this is not the Packers of the past, and they made that known from the opening kickoff. First possession of the game. Not exactly sure where our video is, so we may just hop into the next thing. Josh Jacobs scored an early touchdown. Romeo Doubs, he'd had two of his own. And if we can't get this, let's just say we'll tell you what happened. The Packers won it. 30-13 was the final score. Wisconsin volleyball entered the day one win away from heading back to the Final Four. Standing in their way, Nebraska, one of just a few teams that have beat the Badgers this year. They were swept in each of those meetings, one in Madison, the other in Lincoln, trying to make a stand here early and nearly did. Down 24-23, they'd tie it up very late in the first set, but those Husker fans were loud. Anna Smrek's point was for naught, and the first and second sets would both go to the Huskers. And then in the third, when the Badgers dug their heels in, leading 14-11, and CeCe Crawford invites them into her block party. The Badgers took a big lead in the third, but the Huskers weren't having it. They would come all the way back, and on match point, that would do it. Wisconsin sends out one of the most decorated classes of seniors in program history in the Elite Eight and are swept by the Huskers. The Bucks pushed all of their chips to the center of the table last night, and they'll look to cash out on Tuesday in Las Vegas when they play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Cup Final. Even after an abysmal start to the season, Milwaukee set their eyes on winning the NBA's new in-season tournament, and now they're just one win away from doing just that. If they do win, each player on the team gets $500,000, but for most of Doc Rivers' guys, it's only about one thing, the competition.
A lot of people say it's the money, and it's not. It's the competition. Now, the guys who aren't playing, it's the money. I've never been hugged more by our rookies in my life than after that game. I mean, they were celebrating like it was a big game. But I just think it's a competition, man. I think we run from challenges a lot, and we talked about it. Let's accept it. Let's put our name out there. We're going to try to win it. And if we don't win it, we don't win it. But there's nothing wrong with saying you want to win something.
And there's no question about that. Jumping back into the NFL, where Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts had a day to forget. Let's break this down. Looks like he scored a touchdown, right? Yeah, it does look like it. But when you take a closer look, he dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. We saw this a few times in the NFL today. At this point in the game, it looked like this was going to propel the Colts to maybe even a win. Everything went downhill after that. A bad one for the Badger legend. The Colts would lose this one big time. And this is one to forget if you're Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those Shaq in the full moments for sure, but one of the best in the league. I'm sure he'll bounce back. But staying in Badgerland, let's talk about women's volleyball real quick. You had mentioned one of the most decorated senior classes, not just in Wisconsin history, but in all of NCAA volleyball.
Yeah, we're talking about people like Sarah Franklin, CeCe Crawford, Anna Smrek, people that have won a national championship, won multiple Big Ten titles, have led the way, changed a program forever, done incredible things. Not the way that they wanted to go out, but, I mean, this class, you couldn't have asked for much more out of them.
Absolutely, and to have a postseason run essentially every single year. It's hard enough to win games at this level, but to make postseason runs each and every single year you're in college is a standard that they've set for hopefully years to come.
And we deeply apologize for not having those Packer highlights. Not sure what happened, but again, we can assure you that the Packers did win. They improved to 10-4. It was a Josh Jacobs and Romeo Doubs combination that got it done, and the Packer looking really good right now.
Yeah, 10-4.
Can't beat that.
Sounds
I mean,
good.
You can, but you could ask for much more.
For sure. Sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. We'll be back with more after this.
It's the holiday sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, everything is on sale, like the budget-friendly Summit Eurotop, easy on the wallet for only $379.99, or get 48 months no-interest financing and free shipping. The holiday sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
We went to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison last night.
I don't really get how the jackpots work.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison actually has had multiple million-dollar winners.
There are linked progressive slot machines at the same casino where local players increase the jackpot amount.
And a standalone progressive jackpot increases when a player plays on an individual machine that isn't linked to any other machines. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More ways to win. Find your perfect jackpot.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs a big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric. And big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy.
Choose FlexBuy on F-150 and get 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus 1,000 FlexBuy and 1,000 holiday bonus cash. See your Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Imagine trying to take on one of the big car companies. It's not easy. Yet this year, one local law firm finalized the largest compensatory verdict in state history against an automaker, over $38 million. And it was no fluke. That same firm has been holding big car companies accountable for faulty designs that cause injury for over 50 years. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Willie Street Co-op has the perfect gift for every foodie on your list. Our seasonal gifts feature thoughtful selections of great goodies like culinary delights for your favorite gourmand or delicious beverages for your cup of cheer celebrations, and special items for the host with the most to create magical charcuterie boards, plus hundreds of other gift ideas. And the best part is, you're supporting fair trade, local and sustainable producers. Be an amazing gift giver and do a world of good with Willie Street Co-op this holiday season. Willie Street Co-op. Everyone is welcome.
Hey, pal. Ready for bed?
Hey, Dad. Do we really have the fastest internet speeds?
Yeah, with Spectrum, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. Can I use that to research volcanoes super fast?
Of course.
Can I learn to make a diorama super fast?
Yeah, you can do that too.
How fast exactly?
The absolute fast. When's your project due?
Tomorrow morning.
How much have you done? Okay. I'll get the glue.
The fastest internet whenever you need it. From Spectrum.
It's the holiday sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, everything is on sale, like the budget-friendly Summit Eurotop, easy on the wallet for only $379.99, or get 48 months no-interest financing and free shipping. The holiday sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Plan your day with Savannah. Weekday mornings starting at 4:30.
The digital world is ever-evolving, and our kids are fully invested. And parents and families alike need to stay on their toes. But how do you navigate this era of video games, social media, internet, and apps, along with cell phones and many other digital media? Well, in my latest Time for Kids report with SSM Health, we catch up with one local family and one SSM Health expert on how to navigate this digital era. Catch our digital playbook tomorrow on News 3 Now at 6. Yeah, that's just a quick look as far as, you know, kids playing with their tablets and things of that nature, which is just commonplace these days. It's a project that I've been working on for quite some time now. Really looking forward to deep diving with all of you tomorrow.
Cool. That's amazing, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. A quick check before we head on out.
Yeah, dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. tomorrow, so it is going to be a foggy bus stop forecast and heading off to work, but we'll end in the 40s, and snow chances return starting Tuesday.